Imagine a world lost to time, swallowed by jungle. The Mayan civilization, a beacon of brilliance, flourishing between 750 and 900 AD. This was their classic period, a time of great cities and profound mysteries yet to unfold. Consider Tikal, a titan of a city. Its pyramids pierce the jungle canopy, reaching for the sun, for the gods. Limestone temples, monumental, austere. Howler monkeys echoed through the trees, their calls like ancient spirits. And then there was Chichen Itza, dominating the Yucatan plains. The pyramid of Kukulkan rises, the feathered serpent god, a deity of immense power. During equinoxes, a serpent of shadow appears to descend its mighty stairs, a display of architectural genius, a fusion of Mayan and Toltec cultures. In the heart of Yaxmutal, the mighty city of Tikal, lived Princess Ixchel, her lineage ancient, revered, her blood royal, sacred. She was a jewel of the kingdom, destined for a path laid by gods. Far from Yaxmutal's splendor, across contested lands, lay Karnal, the formidable serpent kingdom. There, a warrior named Khan served with honor, with fierce loyalty. He was a jaguar knight, elite. That single glance, it haunted them both. Ixchel could not forget his eyes. Khan could not erase her image. The war raged on, unabated. Yet a seed had been planted, a dangerous, impossible seed of connection. They knew the risks. In the lore of Yaxmutal, ancient curses were not mere tales. They were living threads of fate, woven into the very fabric of existence, etched on stele, whispered by priests. One such curse lay heavy upon the royal bloodline of Ixchel, a chilling prophecy ages old. Archaeological, the high priest, he was the keeper of sacred knowledge. His eyes, like polished obsidian, missed little within Yaxmutal's walls. He read the stars, interpreted dreams, and felt the subtle shifts in spiritual balance. For weeks, a disquiet had gnawed at him. Unusual patterns in the ceremonial fires, strange whispers carried on the night breeze. He suspected a transgression, a hidden wound. The discovery was inevitable, perhaps a loyal guard torn by duty, or an omen too clear to ignore. For Ixchel, the world shattered. The high priest's words were hammer blows, each one driving her deeper into despair. Khan, her love, condemned to die under the shadow of the moon. Grief consumed her, a raging storm. Tears streamed down her face, unheeded. Helplessness was a bitter poison. Her gilded cage had become a torture chamber. The future, once a distant path, was now an abyss. Khan faced his sentence with the stoic mask of a warrior. The temple guards descended upon Khan, swift, ruthless, an iron net closing. He fought, a jaguar cornered, true, but numbers and sacred duty overwhelmed him. His strength, once his shield, now futile. Chains bit into his flesh, cold, heavy. The proud warrior of Karnal was broken, dragged through the stunned streets of Yaxmutal, a trophy, a sacrifice marked for the gods. His capture echoed like a death knell. There was a place, spoken of in hushed tones, a cenote deep within the densest jungle, untouched by sunlight, feared by all, not a source of life-giving water, but a gaping maw, a wound in the earth. It was said to be a direct passage, a chilling portal to Xibalba, the Mayan underworld, realm of shadow gods. Few dared approach it, none returned unchanged. This was Ixchel's desperate destination, under the cloak of a moonless night. Ixchel slipped away from the palace, a phantom fueled by love and vengeance. The journey was fraught with peril. The jungle, a labyrinth of unseen dangers. Strange sounds echoed, unseen eyes watched, yet her determination was a shield. Her grief a relentless goad. Each step took her further from her old life, closer to an unknown, terrifying power. She found it at last, as foretold, a vast black pool, still as death. The air hung heavy, cold, ancient. The silence was profound, unnatural, as if the very jungle held its breath. Stalactites hung like fangs above the water, reflecting no light, only absorbing it. This was no ordinary place of nature. It pulsed with an unseen, malevolent energy. The threshold of Xibalba felt palpable. Ishel stood at the precipice, her heart hammered against her ribs. A primal fear warred with her fierce resolve. This was a point of no return. To seek audience with the lords of death, to bargain with entities of shadow, was to invite unimaginable consequences. But the image of Khan, chained, condemned, it burned away her hesitation. She would face the darkness itself for him. She cast her offerings into the dark water, precious jade, symbols of her royal blood, and a single tear carrying all her pain. Then she spoke the ancient, forbidden words, a plea, a demand, a desperate summons to the unseen denizens of Xibalba. Her voice, though trembling, echoed strangely across the still surface into the depths. A chilling wind swept through the cenote. The air grew colder, the shadows deepened. They did not appear as men or beasts, but as presences, shifting darkness, whispers that seemed to emanate from everywhere and nowhere. Cold, ancient, powerful, they sensed her offering, her anguish, her resolve. The air crackled with an unseen energy. A sinister hum vibrated through the ground. The price for their intervention was demanded, not in gold, not in jewels, but in something far more fundamental. Ishel did not falter, her voice clear. "Bind my soul to Khan's," she implored, "for eternity. Let us not be parted. Not by death, not by your realm." The spirits considered, a timeless moment. Then the chilling whispers agreed. But the cost would be immense. Eternal, their souls would be linked, yes. But a shadow would fall upon their bloodlines, a curse to echo through generations. She accepted, without hesitation. A wave of icy power washed over her, sealing the pact, binding her fate. Raw energy surged from the cenote's depths, enveloping her, changing her. A sinister force was unleashed that night, not just upon her and Khan, but upon the very land, the very air. The binding was complete, irreversible. Love, now eternally intertwined with a terrible shadow. The pact was sealed by the cenote's edge. A shiver ran through the ancient stones. Ishel felt an icy grip upon her soul. The world around her seemed to dim slightly, as if a veil had been drawn across the sun. The spirits of Xibalba had answered her call, their power unleashed. An unseen tide of darkness began to flow, released from the depths, now free to roam. The balance of the world had been disturbed. She returned to Yaks Mutal before dawn, a phantom moving through silent courtyards. Her eyes reflected the black water of the abyss. A terrible knowledge now resided within her. No one marked her spectral passage. The palace slumbered, unaware of the shift, but a subtle change had already begun. The vibrant tapestries seemed less bright. The air itself felt heavier, charged with an unknown dread. Her presence carried the chill of the underworld. The curse did not manifest with sudden fury. There was no immediate clap of thunder, no legions of the dead marching from Xibalba. Instead, it was a creeping, insidious blight, a spiritual malady seeping into the very soil. The vibrant life force of Yaks Mutal began to wane, imperceptibly at first, then with growing unease, a quiet disquiet settled over the city. The joyous hum of daily life grew subdued. A shadow had fallen, felt but not yet understood. This was the terrible cost of their eternal bond, a darkness woven into the fabric of their fate. The spirits of the underworld were not kind. Their bargains were always steeped in sorrow. The curse extended beyond just Ishel and Khan. It touched the land, the people, the future. The ancient order had been defied, subverted, and the consequences were beginning to unfurl, like a poisonous vine wrapping around the city's heart. The first tendrils of despair took root. Strange portents soon began to plague the region, unnatural occurrences that defied explanation. Birds were seen flying in erratic patterns. Their songs, once joyful, became mournful cries. Jaguars, usually elusive, were spotted near village edges, their eyes glowing with an unsettling light. Even the sacred saber trees seemed to weep, their leaves turning brittle, out of season. The natural world was out of tune, reflecting the discord sown by the dark pact. In the temples, priests noted disturbances. The sacred flames in the braziers flickered strangely, sometimes sputtering low, almost extinguished, other times leaping with an unnatural, dark intensity. Kin Mai, the high priest, grew deeply troubled. He scanned the night skies with growing alarm. The stars themselves seemed veiled, their light diminished. Constellations appeared skewed, their patterns disrupted. These were not the familiar omens of war or drought. These signs spoke of a deeper, more spiritual malaise. Whispers spread like wildfire among the populace. Tales of unsettling dreams, of shadowy figures, seen at the periphery of vision, then vanishing. Children grew fearful, refusing to play outdoors after dusk. A palpable dread settled upon Yaxmutal and stretched even to the lands of Kanur. The impending eclipse became a focal point. For all their anxieties, all their unnamed fears, it was no longer just a celestial event, it felt like a looming judgment. The elders recalled forgotten, darker prophecies, stories of times when the veil thinned, when the underworld's influence grew strong. They spoke of curses that could wither the land and blight the souls of generations yet unborn. The joy of Khan's capture had faded swiftly, replaced by a gnawing fear of the unknown. What power had been invoked? What price paid? The city waited, suspended in a state of apprehension. Each day brought fresh unease, fresh portents of doom. The vibrant pulse of Yaxmutal began to slow. The markets, once clamorous with life and trade, grew quieter. Merchants reported spoiled goods, unexplained losses. Artisans found their hands less steady, their inspiration dimmed. The city's creative spirit seemed to falter, as if a creeping coldness was seeping into its stones. The curse was not just a distant threat, it was an active, eroding force. Fevers that burned with an unnatural heat, a lingering weariness that no rest could cure. The healers offered prayers, burned sacred herbs, but their remedies seemed less potent now, as if the gods themselves had turned their faces away. Or perhaps other, darker entities now held sway. The resilience of the people began to fray. Hope dwindled with each passing ominous day. A collective sigh of despair seemed to hang in the air. Ishel witnessed this growing despair. A heavy burden added to her own fractured heart. She saw the fear in the eyes of her people, knew that her desperate act was the hidden cause. The eternal love she had secured for Khan and herself came at a devastating price for so many others. This was the true nature of the Xibalban pact. A selfish desire granted, a wider sorrow sown. Her city, her lineage, all tainted by the shadow. The weight of her choice was immense, crushing. As the eclipse drew nearer, the dread intensified. The sun itself seemed to shed a weaker light. The air grew thick, making it hard to breathe. Yaxmutal felt like a city holding its breath, waiting for a final, terrible blow to fall. The ritual at the cenote had unleashed more than a curse. It had opened a door to a profound hopelessness. The vibrant tapestry of Mayan life was unraveling, thread by thread, under the watchful eyes of dark gods. The city's vibrant spirit was slowly, inexorably dying. Centuries have spun relentlessly onward. The great Mayan cities now sleep, swallowed by the relentless green embrace of the jungle. Their pyramids stand as silent, stone sentinels, guardians of forgotten tales, of buried sorrows. Time has obscured so much, yet not everything. Secrets lie dormant beneath layers of earth and vine, waiting for a curious hand, a patient eye, to brush away the dust of ages and let the ancient whispers be heard once more. Fast forward to our modern era. Imagine an archaeologist, dedicated, driven, Dr. Aris Thorne perhaps, or Dr. Elena Reyes. They toil under the humid Yucatan sun, far from the grand plazas of Tikal or Palenque, in a lesser-known ruin almost reclaimed. This site is choked with stubborn roots, shrouded in mystery. Others deemed it insignificant, plundered perhaps, but this archaeologist felt a pull, a subtle call, a sense that something vital remained hidden here. Then a breakthrough, a hidden chamber concealed behind a collapsed wall, untouched for centuries. Inside, strange carvings adorned the crumbling stucco. Not the usual depictions of kings or gods in glory. These were different, more intimate, more sorrowful. A princess with haunted eyes, a warrior in chains. An eclipse casting a long, ominous shadow. A dark cenote and swirling, sinister forms. The archaeologist felt a shiver, not of cold, but of profound, unexpected recognition. The story began to emerge, fragment by fragment, pieced together from these unique, unsettling glyphs. The carvings spoke of a love, desperate and forbidden, of an ancient, devastating curse, of a pact made with entities of shadow. This was no mere historical record of battles won. It was a lament, a confession, a warning. The tragic tale of Ixchel and Khan whispering across the vast expanse of time, a lost narrative, finally finding its voice. The archaeologist sat for hours staring at the carvings. The weight of Ixchel and Khan's story settled heavily. Their passionate love, a beacon in a time of war. Their despair, a chasm deep as any cenote. The terrible choice Ixchel made to bind their souls at such an unimaginable, enduring cost. It was a story of human hearts pushed to their limits, defying fate and inviting a darker destiny. The stones themselves seemed to weep their tale, a tragedy etched into the very bones of the earth. The curse, was it mere superstition, or did that pact truly unleash a lingering shadow? The carvings suggested a profound impact, a blight that touched not just two souls, but their bloodlines, their land, their city's fate. Perhaps the strange omens, the city's decline, were not just coincidence, but echoes of that dark bargain. Even now, in the rustling leaves, in the jungle's deep hush, one might imagine that ancient sorrow still permeates a subtle disquiet in a world long past. Such stories resonate through the ages, they speak to something deep within us. The power of love, the fear of loss, the desperate measures taken in passion's grip. Ixchel and Khan are more than ancient names. They represent the eternal struggle of the human heart, against forces seen and unseen, against destiny. Their legend, though dark, holds a certain beauty, a testament to a bond that refused to be broken, even by death, even by the gods. And so their tale surfaces once more, a reminder from a lost world that love, once cursed, never truly dies. It echoes in the silent ruins, in discovered glyphs. It haunts our imagination, a persistent whisper. The archaeologist's discovery ensures their story. Their sacrifice, their eternal shadowed bond, will not be entirely consumed by the hungry jungle. For some loves and some curses are too powerful to ever truly fade into oblivion. The Mayan world is full of such stories. Legends akin to Ixchel and Khan's tragic fate. They whisper to us from ancient weathered stones. They echo through the dense emerald jungle. These narratives speak of profound passion, of binding curses. They tell of love stretching into eternity's grasp. Such tales linger persistently in our modern minds. They paint vivid, haunting pictures of a lost civilization, a civilization that continues to captivate our world. Their enduring mysteries call out across the centuries. Legends like this are why the Mayans still haunt our imagination. This particular story of forbidden, star-crossed love, this chilling account of dark, desperate pacts. Did it send unsettling shivers down your spine? Did you feel the icy breath from the cenote's depths, the crushing weight of that ancient, terrible curse? If this story gave you chills, please let us know. Hit that glowing like button. Show your appreciation. Your engagement with these tales fuels our continued exploration. And if you find yourself craving more journeys, more expeditions into the shadowed corridors of the past, more whispered secrets from forgotten, lost civilizations, then don't forget to subscribe to our dedicated channel. We delve deep into the heart of ancient mysteries. We unearth compelling dark legends, histories submerged by time. Each new subscription directly helps us bring more stories to light. Stories of worlds that have vanished but are not truly gone. Join our ever-growing community of seekers and intrepid explorers. The past is a vast, often shadowy, boundless ocean. It is filled with breathtaking wonders and with chilling terrors. We are here, committed to navigating its murky depths, to bring you the most enthralling tales of ancient mysteries, and to share the most compelling, unforgettable dark legends. There are countless more stories still patiently waiting to be meticulously uncovered, waiting to be powerfully told. Subscribe now and let us embark on these explorations together. The echoes of the past are beckoning. Answer their intriguing call.